Hey, what's up, good people? Welcome back to Stock Up with Larry Jones. Happy Monday. The markets were kind of muted a little bit. The Dow was up a little bit at the time of recording this, but we still have a few minutes until closing bell. Let's talk about a few things. I'm going to touch a little bit about the new tax credit laws that the Biden administration is trying to push. And then we're going to talk about some crypto pushback as far as the SEC Gary Gensler goes. Okay, if you're new to the page, like, subscribe, notification bell. Been rolling with me for a while. Hit the like button. I don't have a WhatsApp, Telegram. Don't manage anybody's money. Okay, let's go right into it. Let's talk about the new EV tax credit, how it's going to hurt some automakers and how it's going to benefit other automakers, mainly actually the legacy companies being GM, Ford, and now Tesla. Now remember, Tesla has earnings on tomorrow, Tuesday. All right, so Tuesday we have Netflix, Johnson and Johnson, Bank of America are all reporting on Tuesday. Correction, Tesla is reporting on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, we have a Tesla, Morgan Stanley, U.S. Bank. Those are reporting then. Tesla is expected to deliver 1.8 million vehicles this year. So I want you guys to listen to this and then we will discuss. Okay, let's get this going.
Of Treasury and taxes, EV tax incentives are getting a big revamp this morning, with many models now facing no or very much reduced incentives. Phil LeBeau's got that story for us and a lot of the details. Phil.
David, these are the new rules, which are primarily driven by two new factors. One, the components for the battery, where are they sourced from, and where are the crucial minerals sourced and processed that go into those batteries. So with that in mind, here is what the Treasury Department says are the number of vehicles that qualify for the full $7,500 discount. 10 domestic models. We're not going to go through every single one. 7 of those qualify for half of that. In other words, they don't meet one aspect of the qualification requirements. 9 models, by the way, that used to get 7,500, they no longer get anything. That's significant when you look at the EV market share in the U.S. We always talk about Tesla and the dominance, but look at the growth of Volkswagen and of Hyundai, and that's not exactly what we were looking for. What we're talking about is Hyundai and Volkswagen both have about 6 or 7% market share. They no longer have models that qualify for the full $7,500. For GM and Ford, certainly welcome news, as well as for Tesla and other domestic automakers. As you take a look at shares of GM and Ford, remember that we get GM results next week, Ford early May, and also take a look at shares of Tesla. Remember, after the bell on Wednesday is when we will get the results from Tesla. By the way, Tesla sells about 63% of all the EVs in this country, and almost all of its vehicles qualify for the full 7,500. Not all of them, but many of them do. 3,750 for one version of the Model 3. But that's the story, guys. It'll be interesting to see what impact this has on those sales of vehicles like the Hyundai Ioniq or the Volkswagen ID4, which no longer qualify for the full 7,500. David?
So you could see that that is a win for Tesla. Tesla, literally over 60% of EVs sold here. We're still in the area of 7% as far as EVs. And that's supposed to, by 2025, I believe, go to 10% and then ramp up from there of all vehicles sold. So EVs are getting pushed back. Now, I could just tell you right now, the Biden administration, it is an old political tactic that they use. Let's say they want the rich to pay an extra tax, right? And let's say they want to raise it by 1%. So the Biden administration will generally say, hey, we want to raise it by 5%. If they wanted to raise it by 5%, the Biden administration will say, let's raise it by 25%. And then they go negotiate down at 5%. Just look at everything that they do. This is not political. These are just facts. They do this all of the time with things that won't happen. Now, most of they have an admissions piece of this where they want quote unquote zero emissions by 2035, and most of the automakers say it's impossible. We will gain footage towards that, but it'll be impossible, okay? And so we have to be realistic in our trading. So let's just take a look right quick. As we can see in their Austin, Texas, April 2023, in the first quarter, they produced over 440,000 vehicles and delivered 422,000 of those vehicles, okay? And so, yeah, here we go. Yeah, Wall Street forecasts Tesla deliveries in 2023 to come around 1.8 million, right? And let's look at this. So I just pulled this up so we could just take a look. Now we know that Tesla has its earnings on Wednesday. You guys leave me a comment on how you're playing this. Do you think Tesla's going to have a beat or a miss? All right. So what I did was I just pulled up a couple of EV companies, Tesla and Rivian, and I pulled up some of the charging stations, and I wish I had some batteries to put in here. But if we look at it, we could see, you know what, let's throw NVIDIA in there for some chips, all right, just for the sake of a chip. And let's see in the last month who was performing better. And as you can see in the last month, actually the charging station is performing better than the vehicle. Actually, Rivian is outperforming Tesla in the last month. But if we go year to date, we could see that Tesla is killing it. So is NVIDIA, but so is EVgo. So what I wanted to show you here is there's room for diversification, and not just to be in the EV itself, but what powers the EV. As you can see, Rivian is just biting the dust. ChargePoint is basically flatline. EVgo is up 52% year to date. And then NVIDIA is just killing it at 88%. All right, let's move into crypto. But first, I want you guys to know that this is sponsored by StockUpU. StockUpU will be the top link below to learn more about the stock market, learn more, earn more. And as you know, these classes are taught by some people that lent their expertise to StockUpU. We got stocks charting with Josh. We got options with Keenan. And we got some stock curry in there with basic fundamentals. And we got dividend investing. And lastly, we have 15 free stock by Moomoo. This is Moomoo Monday. Download the second link below. Get 15 free stock. Make sure you read everything. Now let's move into crypto. Okay. And as we know, I have been saying, if you've been following me, I have been saying that the SEC is going to regulate stablecoin. This is one of the things that they're going to fight to do. You have some senators that are fighting against that. And then, of course, you have Gary Gensler, the head of the SEC. Most people don't like him. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. I was going to say something mean, like I don't think his own mother like him, but that's not very nice. Okay. All right. But he's just not a likable person, not because of how he looks or anything like that, good people. It's just his shady ways. All right. So now let's take a look at this.
Okay, let's talk about the top stories. There is no doubt SEC Chair Gary Gensler is getting tough on crypto, and now he's making sure DeFi won't be left out. On Friday, the SEC clarified that the agency's existing rules on exchanges also apply to decentralized crypto platforms. The agency confirmed it's moving toward DeFi oversight when the regulator met on Friday. The SEC voted 3-2 to take more comments from the public after crypto firms criticized the plan for roping in DeFi platforms that would otherwise not be subject to the regulator's oversight. Now, the plan, which was first proposed in January 2022, would expand the definition of an exchange to include platforms that use communication protocols, such as requests for, quote, systems. Republican Commissioner Hester Peirce criticized the commission's plan, saying at the meeting that the reopening doubles down on an initial proposal that would force centralization and undercut new technologies. She argued during the meeting that the announcement sends a message that the SEC is not interested in facilitating innovation and competition in the financial markets. Decrypt reported that Peirce said the plan's ambiguity undermines fundamental First Amendment protections. Now, we reached out to Peirce but didn't hear back right away. Meanwhile, crypto-friendly Congressman Warren Davidson wants Gensler out of his role at the SEC. The lawmaker tweeted over the weekend that he is introducing legislation that would remove Gensler from his role as SEC chair due to crypto overreach. In the tweet responding to Paul Grewal, Coinbase's legal head, Davidson announced his intention to have Gensler removed to, quote, correct a long series of abuses. The tweet came one day after the SEC's announcement about revisiting the proposed definition of an exchange. We reached out to Gensler for comment, but didn't immediately hear back.
So, Davidson, you get my vote. SEC chair Gensler needs to go bye-bye. He did overreach. Everything that's going on with XRP, Ripple, is just a waste of taxpayers' time, money, and dollars. I believe personally that the SEC has lost the case, but they're just trying to save face. Gary Gensler's just on the wrong side of innovation and the wrong side of the law. That's just what I think. It doesn't make it facts, but that's what I think. I think that this is really one step closer to the leaves falling from the shakedown of everything that's bad and wrong about crypto that will allow crypto to come back. Don't think for 1 second that what happened in the banking sector is done and that's the last of it. Just remember, where did people run to? They ran to Bitcoin, not all crypto. They ran to Bitcoin. I just believe that Bitcoin is here to stay. I know a lot of people, including Oracle, don't like Bitcoin, but it is here to stay worldwide. And we will be doing a deeper dive on the American dollar and why I'm a fan of cryptocurrency and in particular Bitcoin, because a lot of times when we see something new, we fight it because we don't understand it. And then, of course, the first thing the government wants to do is control it, tax it, and then charge us more for it. All right. I'll get into that later. So let me know what you think about Bitcoin, this new rule with Gensler. Let me know what you think about that. And also let me know what you think about Tesla. Is it going to be a good earnings or bad earnings? I just wanted to shine a light on these two stories on today. Sorry for the stumbling, but I'm dealing with these crazy sinuses. All right. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Live, love, laugh, and learn.